Okay, everyone, I wanted to show you some feeding tube tips with medication. Of course, I can't swallow my medication, so all my medications are either liquid or they get crushed and turned into a liquid. And I will show you in another video a neat way to crush your own medicines. If you take several, like I do, you can crush them in a coffee bean grinder, and it turns it into a fine dust, and you can add your liquid, your water, your juice, your coffee to make a liquid out of your medicines so you can use them into the feeding tube. So right now I wanted to show you how I do my medicines. I try to be as independent as I can, and so, but I do rely on my caretaker to fill my syringes up with my medicine. I just don't have the skills to do that, and sometimes I give myself either too little or too much, so it's just safer if my caretakers give me the medicine, fill the syringes up, and then I can, with my limited mobility, can do it myself. And what I do is I take just a regular gravity bag, and I have my distilled water in that. You can do it this way if you have a peg tube or the button, the Mickey button like I have. It doesn't matter. If you have a feeding tube, you can use your gravity bag to give yourself your medicine. An easy way if you want to try to stay independent. So I'm just going to hang my bag up here on my pole. And because I have the Mickey button, I have to connect my Mickey extension to my feeding tube. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to connect it. Put it in there, give it a turn. And if you see now, I have my two ports. I have my regular medicine port here on the side, and I have the regular bolus tip. Doesn't matter if you use the single or the double hose, this will work for you. Now what I do is, we have the clamp here. This clamp is keeping the stomach contents in. If this was open, everything would come out of the tube. What I do is I take a straight extension, and some of you folks should know about the straight extensions, but I just take a regular straight extension, and of course it has a clamp, and what I do is I put that in the large opening. So yes, I have my regular tube with a clamp, and then I have my little extension with a clamp. Now I take my distilled water bag, I plug it in here. So now we're connected. I'm going to make sure everything is closed here. Okay, that's in good. The stomach is closed. The water bag is closed. I'm going to go ahead and open my water up. Okay, so now my water is open. Now what I do is I open my water, and I open my stomach, and now we are flushing. You can see if they're flushing. So what I want to do now that I've flushed, you always flush your medicine when you first put it in, 10 to 30 cc's of water. I've now flushed it, so I'm going to go ahead and close the water clamp. I'm going to close the feeding tube, stomach clamp. And I'm going to go ahead and open up the medicine port. Take one of my syringes that have medicine in it. I'm going to go ahead and put it in there, in the medicine port. We'll go ahead and open up the stomach to the feeding tube, and I'm going to slowly go ahead and push in my medicine. As you can see, the medicine is in there. Now what I'm going to do with the syringe still in, I'm going to go ahead and open my water, and as you see, hopefully you can see, the water is pushing in the medicine. And I'm going to flush it about 30 cc's, which is about 10 seconds. Okay, all the medicine is out. I'm going to turn the water off. I'm going to turn the stomach off. I'm going to put the empty medicine syringe back in the cup over here, and I'm going to take my next medicine. I'm going to go ahead and open the stomach, and I'm going to go ahead and administer my medicine. Okay, now I'm going to open up my water. And it is done. Just whatever you're comfortable, keeping your hydration, your water limits, so I'm going to let it flush a little more. Okay, so now I've taken my two of my medicines. Now I can just simply make sure everything's closed, and I'm good to go. And I just leave this. I'm going to disconnect my stomach. I just leave the water bag open since these two clamps close it. And I'll hang it back up on my pole, and I'm just had my medicine. Independent. Independence is important. Just want to remind you that feeding tubes aren't for the dying, they're for the living. Visit the Olay Foundation for more feeding tube information. OLEY.org. It's the leading foundation of resources, education, lobbying for feeding tube patients, caregivers, and their families, and a lot of resources for your doctor. So that's how I give myself medicine and keep myself independent. Have any questions? Be sure to leave a comment. I'll get back to you either on my YouTube, and also check out my business, disabled but I'm web enabled, clickbypay.com, clickbypay.com. It's how I'm working and keeping myself in an occupation throughout my disability and my feeding tube dependence and some of these other health issues I have. And thank you very much. God bless.